You know when you meet someone and you very quickly realize you pretty much share a brain, you're always on the same page and essentially speak the same language, maybe just in a different font?
I'm Stephanie, and that was Holly, and we are those girlies. After sharing an experience in corporate America, and maybe some trauma bonding along the way, we really just want to yammer about the stuff that matters to us. Join us as we discuss navigating self love and growth, marriage, sobriety, and the hamster wheels that are our brains. And welcome to Same Language, Different Font.
It's not just Steph and I today.
Nope.
So I just wanted to introduce Ashton. She's here with us. And for those of you who don't know her, she is pretty much the definition of inspiration. I'm not going to lie, Ashton, like you are one of the reasons that I started kind of getting into the idea of content creating and spreading the joy with people I didn't know and talking to strangers. So if you guys don't already follow her, I think, is it ashton.it or is it LT?
It's Ashton_LT. A lot of people think it says Ashton Lit. And I'm like,
hey.
I mean, hey, I'm not upset about it.
But it's Ashton_LT.
And so if you don't already follow her, you definitely will after this episode, because the amount of gratitude that you see in her posts she's definitely same language as Steph and I, the everyday life.
For sure.
It's not wanting more necessarily in materialistic mindset. It's just focusing on what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see. We're so happy to have you here with us, Ashton.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I was so flattered when you asked.
My gosh, of course. As soon as we started talking about it, I was like, Steph and I had mentioned she has to be on this. Like, I really hope that she says yes.
Running through the list of people who we might want to have on and talk with, and you were right there at the top of Hall's list. And then I'm not gonna lie, I did a little bit of creeping, as we do out here on the internet. And it makes total sense why, because I think I could totally back up what Hall said. We all like to enjoy the finer things in life from time to time, but really when it comes to just day in and day out kind of stuff, I do feel like you are the same as us in really trying to dive in on the really important stuff and the stuff that's going to take you the distance, not just the stuff for right now. And so I'm really excited to have you on. Thank you for taking time to be with us today.
Well, thank you guys.
No, we know that time is so precious, and so we very much appreciate you taking, especially on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. But
I love doing fun things on a Monday.
Right. I mean, why not start the week off like that? Yeah. Flipping that mindset. I love it. And you and we've known each other. I was thinking about it before we started recording. I think I knew you because you played volleyball with my sister.
Yeah.
15 years ago. Is that about right? Yeah.
So, and maybe even earlier, because I know you guys both started playing club whenever you were elementary.
So just into middle school. Yeah.
Yeah. Because both my older sisters played, and I was a little gym rat. I was the youngest. I was like the little.
Oh, really?
Rat. We were all little babies. It was cute.
That's crazy. Really and then Big Man just brought you right back in. We are I think it was through one of our friends, Katie, is how we ran back into each other. And thank goodness he knew I needed you during this chapter of my life. I'm sorry, I'm getting really in my feels about all of this, and I knew that I would, but he's definitely knew that I needed you in this chapter. One, with starting the podcast, and then two, just being on this journey that Em and I are on right now. And we'll get into all of that later, but just very, very thankful to have you here, not just on the pod, but in my life in general. Just thank you for everything you've done.
Gosh, thank you. And nothing is coincidence, whenever we get looped in, and it really is the older, not that I have a lot of life under my belt, but with the life I do have, I've realized there's no interactions that God has his hand in every single interaction. It's all a big web for his good and his glory. And it really is. It's beautiful how that happens.
Really Absolutely. Is. And what might seem small to you could be, I'm just going to go full send, could be life-changing for someone else, that interaction. So you just never know how you're going to impact someone else. So just always something to keep in mind, guys, listeners. But is there anything that I missed? Anything that you really want to touch on about yourself in particular? Just tell the listeners who you are.
Yeah, I'm Ashton. I so basically with, content creating and everything like that, go back about 7 years, and I was I didn't put anything out on Instagram other than my personal life. But I became a cycle instructor for Cycle Bar, and a big part of that is you have to put your class schedule out there and everything.
Yes.
And they would give us little TED Talks on, basically how to let writers know about who you are, and so just posting little snippets of your life. And so what really kicked it off with content creating at all was posting my schedule first, and then second, I'm a terrible cook, like terrible.
Girl, same.
and so it was right around COVID. I started the Cooking Chronicles on my story, is what they were called. And I would document me doing things for the first time. Like, I was the baby of the family, and my mom, sisters, everybody basically like cooked for me, not because I asked, but just because that was just kind of birth order in our home. And so I didn't really grow up knowing how to cook. My poor husband, his mom slays in the kitchen, and he married like, how do I saute chicken, and so
I don't know how to make a grilled cheese, so I am right there with you.
Yeah, I just hard boiled an egg for the first time last week. Like, we're still in the beginning stages 5 years later. And the only reason I'm doing that is to be able to
Cooking Chronicles continue.
Yes. Now it's figuring out how to feed a child. So I
feel that in my bones. I'm sorry. In the depths of my soul, I feel that.
I'm like Googling, like, do I separate the yolk from the white? Like, what am I doing? I ruined eggs because I didn't even know how to put it in the boiling water. It's a whole thing. So yeah, started with the Cooking Chronicles, and then it kind of just like, that was my first little snippet of like stories, basically.
Other than you dipped your toe in.
I did. And I was really starting to enjoy it. And the core of it, looking back on it, in the moment you're not thinking this, but looking back on it, it was connection. It was showing like, yes, I'm a cycle instructor, and like, that's something that came more natural to me, than cooking, but people need to see us failing, and not that, and that
absolutely.
That sounds bad to say, not bad to say, but like, people, that's the only way they're going to relate. Like, people don't relate to you saying, look at what I'm doing, that I'm doing, like,
everything's perfect.
Yeah. And so it created so much connection with my writers, with people from like high school. Like, it just was kind of all encompassing. And then from there, just posted more and more personal. It kind of helped me grease up the hinges. And then from there, once I left teaching, I was a 5th grade teacher for 5 years. I went full health and fitness. So I left in 2021 teaching, and then started nutrition coaching, and then also just did full-time cycling and nutrition coaching, like 2 part-time things that created one full-time thing. And so, from there, I mean, that basically my storefront was my Instagram page. So that's kind of got the ball rolling with everything. So that's kind of my backstory. And then now it's just morphed over time to now where it's like health, wellness, family, baby, failing at
priorities.
Cooking.
All maintaining it all.
Like all of those things.
Yeah. It's like, I don't really know exactly what my brand would be, but it's really just health, wellness, faith, and family.
No,
I love that. And that's exactly what we try to focus on here. Yeah.
Like all of like the most important, honestly, it's kind of like, if you get a little bit of it right in all of the categories, you don't have to be perfect in every category, but if you take something a little bit from every single category, it just really kind of becomes this well-rounded, feel good type of thing. I'm very much in the beginning stages of that, and I'm seeing you don't have to be all in one thing. You can take, but I think just from my like brief browsing of your page, it's all very just authentic. It is the the authenticity of this thing that I'm working on that just continues, like you said, building that connection, I think.
Yeah.
And something I want to piggyback off of what Steph said is you don't want to be perfect in all of these things, or you won't be. You will not be perfect. Let's stop trying to set that as the goal of let's make sure we perfect this area. You will never perfect an area in your life, even if you focus fully on it. It's not going to happen, and we all need to be okay with that. I think, and I'm speaking to the choir here, believe me, I am very much a perfectionist, but it will never happen, and I'm trying to come to terms with that and be okay with the mess of my life.
No, and that's the beauty of just, we're always going to be in the process of becoming. We're never going to be fully there. Mm-hmm. And so something that I would talk with my nutrition clients about a lot, and I have to say to my own heart, is whatever your core values are, like that you're working on in this moment, that your focus is, just focus on never missing twice. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to have days where we're not going to hit it this day. And we just have to have the mindset of like, okay, just because I didn't hit it today doesn't mean that I can't hit it tomorrow. And that's what continues momentum and whatever we're working towards. So that's something that has been a game changer for me, I would say, in the last few years, because I did used to chase perfection. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll get into that, but I did. I think
it's like instilled in all of us. Yeah,
it is.
Especially as like millennial women.
For sure.
I'm gonna say it.
I have to check myself on it still a lot, but it is, that's a quote that I always say, just, okay, it's okay if you didn't get it today, just get it tomorrow.
Yeah. So necessary just to, that's been a big for me, because I've talked about it previously about being a serial giver-upper, and that's something that I've been very much trying to just cut out of my life. Just stop giving up on things. You're never going to reach the goal that you have for yourself if you're just because I think that was something that I was running into a lot, and hearing that from you is just very validating. Just because you missed one day doesn't mean that all of your progress is lost. And also coupled with the fact that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the perfect workout. It doesn't have to be the perfect workout conditions. It doesn't have to be the prettiest kitchen. It does, just all of the things that I think that
sure doesn't.
The negative side of social media that you hear so much about, the aesthetic of it all.
Yeah.
That's been something, once I got past that and I just realized, like, I'm just a human having a human experience and trying to share that with other humans.
Yes.
It just made it more fun and made it more enjoyable. And I feel like I stopped letting myself down, which is crazy, but I don't know. I like that you said that, and it's very validating. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And that is, there's something that I have to repeat to myself a lot, is like just being willing to show up, in whatever capacity that looks like. Because showing up for me right now with health, fitness, nutrition, how I'm showing up now and how I can show up now is completely different than how I could show up a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, whenever people say we all have the same 24 hours in a day, I'm like, no, a year and a half ago, Ashton did not have the same 24 hours Ashton does now. She does now. It's not the same.
That's not the same. They cannot be compared.
And I used to be somebody who would say that. Like, we all have the same 24 hours. And I'm like,
but we don't.
Okay. Yes, in theory, but no, in actuality. Like, it's not true.
Not at all.
There's different seasons of me have had completely different 24 hours.
Absolutely.
So it's showing yourself grace in what those different 24 hours looks like. And we're learning as we go, and I'm constantly becoming of what does that look like.
What I'm learning from all of the moms that I talk to is I feel like you don't even, those 24 hours, they're not yours. You have like 8 now, and that's to sleep maybe on a good night. The rest, they don't belong to you anymore.
No. It's all good. It's part of just life.
That's it.
Yeah.
Taking
absolutely.
It one day
it's just
at a
that
time.
next chapter.
It is.
That next chapter that only have 4 hours in a day instead of 24.
Exactly.
It's all right. But segueing back to the perfectionist and talking about how social media, I feel like that's pretty much the standard now that you see is just everything going right and all of the good things, which is great to see, don't get me wrong. But how do you stay true to your content and still continue to put out the realness and the authenticity and not kind of succumb to the creating for a market?
I would say that's something that I still have to pray through a lot. And I really am trying my best when I post of, is this going to help give somebody light in their day? Is this going to help somebody learn something? Or is it only for selfish gain? And that is something, it really, when I took that recently, I took, I think it was like a month or maybe a little bit over a month of just completely going off of socials. I know, Holly, you and I talked about that. And that was something that really God and me talked about a lot, is like, what is this platform now? Like, and because it's shifting, just because my life has shifted. I'm not going to post the same things that I was posting a year and a half ago. Some the same, but some different. And I really I want to be a vessel to help, and not a vessel of just solely focusing on aesthetics. Like with nutrition coaching, that's part that comes with it. And obviously when we feel good, I feel like, internally, externally, like when we feel good and we feel confident, we're going to project that onto people. If we feel bad and we feel self-conscious, we're going to project that onto people. So I do think that there is beauty in feeling good, feeling confident internally and externally, but it's finding that fine line of, I don't want to look like I have it all together. I definitely don't. And really, but not being a Debbie Downer all the time. It's just this fine balance of really tuning into the Holy Spirit. And there is times when I feel like I'm not as prayerful as I should be, but taking that time off of rest from it really helped put more into perspective on A, how much I'm scrolling, and B, why am I posting what I'm posting? Like, and is it helping people? And if not, I really shouldn't be posting it.
It's like a refocus period.
Yeah, like
it is.
I'm thinking of fasting. I'm thinking of fasting for your soul, essentially. Yeah. Just really just coming away from the flesh of it all, like completely and totally. Oh, I like that. And just like a Holy Spirit reset, and to just like talk to me, tell me, am I supposed to be doing this? And then when you picked it back up after taking the time off, coming back into it, how did that feel? Like, did it feel different?
It did. And I feel like I'm just more in tune with gut checks of, wait, I'm scrolling. Like, and I really try my best now when I am with others. I'm not perfect at it. It's still something I'm really looking internally for and praying through, is I don't want to be attached to my phone in front of my family, in front of my friends. Yeah. Like, I want to be present. I don't want, like how we talked about at the beginning, like I don't want days to go by where I'm not present and I'm not grateful. Because if we're scrolling, that's really hard. I feel like more comparison comes with that. So absolutely, I will say it's just given me more gut checks of taking a self-inventory, of just how can I be as useful as possible with this. And I'm really looking into, honestly, getting one of those brick things. I don't know if you guys have seen that, where you
put your phone in it.
Yes.
And it locks. And so,
Yeah. So like, I really, when I go out of the house,
to me.
But when I go out of the house, like I want to have access to my text messages, because I'm not like texting all day. Like that's needed. I guess not needed, but you know what I mean? And then like for phone calls, but then for like apps like Instagram, Facebook, socials, like there is a time and a place where it's helpful, but then there's a time when it's harmful. And I should be present. So it's like, if I'm going on date night or like anything like that, I would want to freaking put my phone in that brick and then not be able to use those things until it's time for that, and do it again. Because sometimes when I have that like screen time thing on my phone, where it's like, you have to 15 minutes left.
It's attacking
more times than I don't ignore it. Listen, but Yeah. Sorry, that was a tangent.
No, it's so
not at all. It's
true. And
so true. Can we bring back the Nextels? Like that's what I really want in life. Is like let's just bring back those phones that just like beep beep and you just talk through.
Oh, I love
that's
my
it. That's all you need.
Oh,
I loved it.
I used
my
to say,
gosh.
beep, beep, go ahead.
I know. They were like, it was the best.
Little G stuff.
Well, I guess I'm seeing a lot of research now of people bringing back landline phones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
just another thing to pay for.
There's a guy I just saw. I was doom scrolling. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I was doom scrolling, and I was sitting in bed, and there's this guy who says that he got cellular on his Apple Watch. Because once you have the cellular data, you can leave your phone at home and you don't need it. And so that way, just like you just said, Ashton, he has access to his texts and he has access to his phone calls and things like that, but he cannot get on his social media at all. And he said it has been a true game changer for him. And I started thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? Honestly, it's pretty brilliant. So that way he's always got it because I'm like a sucker for my Apple Watch. The only reason I'm not wearing it is because I'm sitting here, but he always has access to, like, we're moms, and Halls, you've got your farm. You've got a husband out there who need contact with us. We have people
Em
out
and
there.
I go most of the day without interacting until he gets home.
You know what I mean? Gosh forbid that there is an emergency or something.
Heaven forbid I can't reach Stephanie in the middle of the day.
Like, I can't be out of contact. That's not realistic. But how many times have you been in a situation where you're slightly bored or slightly uncomfortable and you pick up the phone to hide?
Numerous times each day.
The time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm missing out on what could be genuine human interaction here. So, I'm with that. And I like that. I've seen the brick, Ashton, and that's not a bad idea at all,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, though. That's a legit thing that I feel like wouldn't be that much extra. I don't know if is it extra?
No, he said it was like $12 a month or something. But think about that. But it comes down to the exchange of time versus currency. Like I'll spend the $12 to get my 2 to 3 hours. I'm gonna tattle on myself at night. Like,
no, I get it.
It's just
I was glued this weekend.
Yeah,
Yikes,
I mean,
let me tell you, we started
especially if you're working on stuff like this, like content creation,
especially this. We're checking analytics constantly, and when you start seeing those numbers go up, it's hard to not just sit there.
It's like gambling. It's like gambling for real. It's like, oh, look at this.
It's addicting. It really is. And like as we all know, I have an addicting personality, so it's part of it. No, but
I think in ways we all do, and Instagram and Facebook, that
it's just
they're making it to where they want us to be addicted. And that is just the truth of it, and so we're kind of all figuring it out of how can we make this work for life and not have it steal years of our lives. Amen. And I think that's where I want it to be something that's healthy, and I'm working on it.
Right. Yeah. Work in progress.
Always got to keep that balance for sure. Yeah.
Just like any other thing, if you're thinking about it, then it means that it's actively on your mind. You're thinking about it. You're working on it. I think that's really all we can do. That's like the baseline, just at least be thinking about it. So
absolutely.
And honestly, if you're thinking about it and just going to do that one little step, you're closer than you were yesterday. You're no longer at day one.
That's it.
So just focus on that.
There are millions of fonts in the world, and new ones are constantly being developed. If you happen to be one of those millions out there that speak our language and are still developing, just like we are, stick with us.
We want to thank you for spending your time with us today, and we'll talk to you on the next episode of Same Language, Different Font. Love you, listeners.